in the Western Conference, we'll look at the guards real quick. Look, it's going to be Stephen Curry and Luka Doncic. Mm-hmm. They have big leads. Luka has been on another planet. And even though Steph will have missed a bunch of games, his resume is been really impressive. The team's resume hasn't been, but come on, the guy's going to start. What I think is interesting looking at the West guards is that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is basically got the same amount of votes as Ja Morant.
That's very surprising.
I'm not sure whether that's a result of the Grizzlies still not being in the appropriate national consciousness, or whether Shai has been so great that he has sort of demanded that he be on a lot of these ballots.
I've said for a minute that I think if Shai played on a team that was competitive the past couple of years, people would look at him in a similar light that they do to Ja. So to me, people having him with the same number of votes to Ja is recognizing that he's awesome. Like, I don't think it's a slight to Ja. He's, Shai is, I think you can make a good argument he's better than Ja. And that's like, they're both awesome. So,
if you're looking at points per game, obviously he's scoring more points. He's been more efficient. Boy, Ja's awfully good though.
No, they're both awesome. Yeah,
but that surprises me just because I do think Ja is somebody who really resonates with fans. Like you always see, as far as like social media, reaction. Like Ja is always one of the top guys in terms. I don't know whatever the hell metrics they throw out there. He's always, his highlights go bonkers, right? He's a highlight machine. Nike didn't give him a signature shoe, but for just because he's a nice guy. They gave him a signature shoe because they think he can sell a lot. Because
they also gave a signature shoe because they kicked one of their signature guys out.
Okay. I mean, this was also in the works before.
It was in the works long before that. The other thing to factor in here is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Right, but like they non-renewed Kyrie a year ago and decided a year ago that Ja was gonna do that.
The other thing to consider here too is that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to be the face of the Canadian basketball program probably for the next decade, and he also is from the greater Toronto area, which is one of the biggest cities on the continent, and I'm sure there's a bunch of Canadian votes for him, which is
there's a bunch of Canadian votes for Andrew Wiggins apparently too, because
that's a Warriors thing, not a Canadian thing. We've seen that over time.
He's Canadian too. Let me just say before we start talking about the Western Conference front court that you guys have some blood on your hands here. Because
what now?
Your constant denigrating of Domantas Sabonis.
Okay, I don't even know what denigrating means. So use a word, dummy it down.
Your constant putting down of Domantas Sabonis, which is
fundamentally another not true statement. But we can discuss this. That's fine. Let's discuss it. Let's break it down.
Years in the making. Okay. The Kings are having like their best season in a decade.
Longer than that. They haven't made the playoffs in 16 years.
Okay, well, let's not say that they're in the playoffs yet.
Okay, but they're having their best. They're having their best season.
They're having their best season
years.
In nearly 2 decades, it's their best season.
The dude is absolutely annihilating competition on the offensive end.
He's having a great season.
19 points, league high, 12.4 rebounds,
12.5. But who's counting?
What?
12.5, but who's counting?
All right, 12.5. It leads the league.
Phenomenal passer, 6.7 assists.
Super fun to watch. Kings are maybe the best story in the league this year.
62% shooting. 62% shooting.
Okay, then stuff the ballot box for me. Needs to help because they ain't in the top 10.
Are you really gonna say that Domantas Sabonis not getting a lot of votes playing for the Sacramento Kings is some sort of a media commentary?
Yeah, seriously? Don't blame us. Blame the beam lighters.
Excuse me, sir. He's not.
Do they have internet
10.
in Sacramento?
Apparently not. Kevon Looney has more votes than him.
Yeah, well, again, that's the
Warriors. Kevon Looney.
Zaza Pachulia almost got voted into the All-Star game as a starter because he played for the Warriors.
You can't.
No, he didn't. He played for the Mavericks. You doofus.
you can't on one hand say, boy, the fans are really appreciating how good Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been. What is that, a big market in Oklahoma City? This Sabonis slander should not stand.
Well, the slander, it's not slander. He's just not getting votes. Now, if you want to make the
also, I want to say that Austin Reeves,
that he deserves to be seriously considered as an all-star starter, I will agree with you. He has been phenomenal.
Austin Reeves got more votes than De'Aaron Fox as well, by the way.
That's
and I know.
Joke. I mean, come on. And look, I don't have a problem with you saying Sabonis could potentially be voted, at least media-wise, as the number 3 starter in the front court. I think he has a case, especially because Zion's about to miss a ton of games.
And Anthony Davis missing a ton of games.
Yeah, I think you can make a strong case for Sabonis there, and that Fox deserves to be a reserve. I mean, look, the Kings are having a damn good season, and both those guys are performing at all-star levels. All the slander and whining and crying, I don't understand.
Well, I'm tweaking grumpy. A little bit. Obviously, I'm just saying,
I mean, I would say you're going beyond tweaking. I mean, the fundamental argument here. Let's have a discussion. The fundamental argument here, from the beginning, has been the Kings traded away a premium young player at a premium position for an older player on his second contract at a non-premium position. That's been the discussion from the beginning. They also traded away Buddy Hield in that trade, who is a guy who who we've talked for 6 months about whether the Lakers are going to trade 2 first-round picks for him and Miles Turner. Right?
Buddy Hield's one of the best 3-point shooters of the last decade.
So the Kings traded a terrific 3-point shooter and a premium young player who's going to be an all-star on a rookie deal and will be eligible for a supermax, possibly.
Maybe.
For a guy who's on his second contract who plays a non-premium position. It's not a knock on Domantas Sabonis or that he's not a good player.
I'll say this. If Sacramento gets an extension done with Sabonis, then the deal's not a complete disaster. I still don't like it, but it's not a complete disaster.
It's okay. Why? Well, also, unless the league changes the Domantas Sabonis is like the Jaylen Brown example of why
that's right.
The league's in a weird spot on the extension rules. Because frankly, if you're Domantas Sabonis right now, why would you extend? He'll probably lose money on the deal. Almost certainly will lose money on the deal. So,
that's fair.
That's another part of it too. They might have to deal with him being a free agent in a year. Now there's a chance that'll get fixed in the CBA, but yeah, I mean, you are trying to come up with all sorts of straw mans today, but I think that's you're reframing the total discussion about this trade in a completely different way.
No, this is kind of like the Embiid Jokic thing. You think that because I think it's ridiculous that Embiid is ruled out of MVP voting because of a couple of injuries, I didn't like Jokic. You think you guys think
ruled out as the runner-up.
Also, no one said you don't like Jokic. It's just all about your position. You guys have said that 100 times. It's not a judgment on the trade. The trade, I think Indiana won the trade. It's just that people acted like Sabonis stinks. He doesn't stink. So looking
I would
at
say
the
that's the straw man. I don't think people argued that he stinks. People argued that they traded a young potential all-star guard for a guy at a non-premium position, which they did.
Well, Sabonis is going to make his third all-star team, and this time it's going to be in the West, which you've put down as Eastern Conference all-star.
Well, I'll tell you what. You know what? It's funny. The Western Conference All-Stars this year are the former Eastern Conference All-Stars. If you look at some of the guys who are going to be getting in.
Yeah, if Sabonis was still in the East, he might not make it. But actually, he probably would. But it would be tight.
It'd be tight. It'd be tight.
LeBron leads the West. He's going to make his 19th All-Star game. He's going to start. By the way, this is a statement that you guys are going to use against me. So let me try to say it as closely as I can to what I mean.
No. I see the wheels turning. Once you accept
that the Lakers are not a good team, which a lot of people have had.
I can't wait to see where this goes.
Once you accept that the Lakers are not a good team,
do we all accept that?
We do, but there's a lot of people who started.
I'm just making sure we're all on the same page. We see
the people who don't accept that are the ones who voted Austin Reeves as an all-star starter. So get on to your next point.
It's the reason why Russell Westbrook is still the leading candidate for Sixth Man of the Year, because people are putting their money down on it. Like The Lakers are doing okay, guys. They're fighting. They're probably performing under the circumstances about as good as they can. And
yeah, sure. They're a borderline play-in team. That's what we all said they'd be before the season started.
I mean, congratulations on trying hard.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, it's a clap. Here's a clap. Here's a clap for the Lakers.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, like, look, here's what I'm going to say. There were years when LeBron was in Cleveland where that team got to the second round, and that was absolutely the best possible case for those teams. And LeBron got him there. Because he maximized what the team has.
Are you saying if the Lakers this year?
Seriously, if the Lakers make the play-in, which is a huge if, that may be a really good season. That may be as good as they could.
No one here is arguing that. By the way, McMahon, Zaza Pachulia was on the Warriors when that.
No, he
happened.
wasn't. I talked to him about it when he was in Dallas.
I'm
bird.
I'm literally looking at. I looked it up.
Bro.
He almost got voted in when he was on the Warriors, and then they changed the rules.
Well, that's fine. It also happened when he was in Dallas.
Okay. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.